Hello coaches, welcome to a special episode of Modern Soccer Coach Podcast. This week I am off to the home of Serie A and one of the best youth academies in the world. Why Fiorentina? Well, first off, my love of Italian football goes back to the days of Gazzetta Football Italia. Of course, anyone that grew up in the UK, probably Europe, was aware of the power of Italian football in the 1990s. And a massive impact on how I watch football, how I consume football, why I fell in love with the game. Italian 90 as well had a lot to do with that too. And then second of all, the work that's been done at Fiorentina from a youth level right up into the professional first team. Once I got in touch with Marco Mazzantini and I did some research, I realised that this is a club I have to visit sooner rather than later. So it's an unbelievable trip. We've got two interviews for you on this one. The first one is today with Mr. Valentino Angeloni, head of the academy, rich history in Italian football. We're going to talk about the values, the culture, the standards at the club. And then the second interview is with Marco, and we're going to talk about the methodology that works throughout the age groups. But before we start, we could not do this without our sponsor, St Mary's University. St Mary's University is currently recruiting students for September 2025 for their innovative performance football coaching master's degree. Please check them out on the link below. Modules include strategies, tactics, skill acquisition, leading people in teams, performance coaching, performance science, and the opportunity to lead your own research for your dissertation. Massive thank you to St Mary's. Please check out the online course. We will put the link below. All right, before we start the interview with Mr. Angeloni, we are going to take a quick look at the facility, a quick look at the background of Fiorentina and why this is such a special club. So this facility is, again, one of the best in the world. It's a short 20-minute taxi drive outside the beautiful city of Florence. One of the nicest taxi journeys you'll ever be in, going into the Tuscany hills towards Viola Park. Officially opened in October 2023, Viola Park was commissioned by Rocco Comizio and designed by architect Marco Casamonte, nestled in the picturesque Florentine hills. Before you even see a ball kicked, you are in awe of this place. 12 full-size pitch includes the hybrid of mini football pitches along with a dedicated goalkeeper training pitch as well. Two stadiums, one is 4,500 spectators, the other is 3,000. 4 gyms, 130 training stations. They've got rehab stations, 12 pavilions. We've also got residence as well, 75 rooms, 116 beds, a medical centre, a wellness centre, 25-metre swimming pool, 2 vascular pools, cryotherapy, sauna, Turkish bath. Even the club restaurant, which is, believe it or not, on the right side of the screen there, in between the football pitches in this little mini landscape. One of the nicest restaurants I've ever had the privilege of sitting in. It's an unbelievable mix of beautiful Tuscan landscape combined with this ultra modern technology. Absolutely phenomenal. It was also designed to have a strong focus on environmental sustainability and the enhancement of the environment. So when you're there, you can feel how deliberate everything has been designed. You also feel a great sense of pride with all the staff members that work there. I did my interviews in the main building and then got a tour of the facility, and also was fortunate enough again to sit in the nicest cafeteria you'll ever sit in a football club. But even the size of the pitches, the types of the pitches, the location of the pitches and the surrounding area makes this a place that you can see why they have so much pride in it, and to create the Tuscan feel is also part of the fabric of the club as well. As we're going to hear in the interviews, the history of this club is very important, something they're very proud of, but also what they're trying to do with where they're going to take the club in terms of competing at the cutting edge of modern football is really inspiring. So I'm excited to share these interviews because as unbelievable as this facility is, it wasn't the most impressive thing about this visit. The people, the message, the clarity, the consistency and the passion they have, not just for the game but also the development of future Fiorentina players. That's what I'm most excited about sharing during my visit to Fiorentina, and that's saying something because this is unbelievable. Of course, I couldn't do this interview without talking about the impact of Fiorentina's history on myself. Club legends in the 90s, Roberto Baggio, Rui Costa, what a player he was, Edmundo, the Brazilian forward, and of course, Batigo, Gabriel Batistuta. But the recent history of Fiorentina as well is just as impressive. This youth team has been in 5 of the last 6 Primavera Cup championships. And these players are moving into the first team. Tommaso Martinelli, Luca Ranieri, the captain, Pietro Camuso and Nicolo Zaniolo, all making that move from the academy into the first team and showing how important it is at Fiorentina. All right, I was fortunate to spend a little bit of time with Mr. Angeloni in this interview. We're going to talk about the environment, the structure and the standards at Fiorentina for staff and players and how he manages that special blend of tradition with forward thinking for the next generation. Here we go. Mr. Angeloni, thank you so much for joining me today and for the hospitality. Obviously the history of the club is fantastic, culture, reputation. How would you describe the internal culture here?
Family, if I had to use one word, it would be family, because of course history is very important and must be respected. But what was given by the current ownership with Rocco Commisso, his wife Catherine, his family as a whole, is this concept of being one big family altogether.
What are some of the key personal values that you have for staff members to work here?
Obviously, some of the values are respect and showing solidarity, being there for one another and for the boys and girls here.
Winning and development in academy football. You have been to the final of the Primavera 5 out of 6 years. How do you balance winning and development?
Obviously, going to several finals during the year, having that consistency down the years of getting to finals, of winning finals and trophies, shows you just how good some of the players have been, and that consistency of them then going to the first team or going to Serie B to other clubs and developing there and eventually maybe coming back as well, shows you the job that's been done for a long period of time. So it's not just the Primavera, of course, who are the oldest out of the youngest, but every other sector of under 19, 16, etc., have reached finals, have gotten results, and have then seen players develop. So I'd like to underline the fact that this goes in all the academy.
Does this add pressure for coaches to win at youth level?
Zero.
No, it doesn't add any pressure, because what we're doing is working on the individual player, individual youngster, in putting him in a team sport and working on him at an individual level, but within the team from a very young age going forward. We don't have a single system, be it, for example, 4-3-3, but we go beyond that and have quite similar principles, styles of play, but within different systems, and that broadens the knowledge of the player and makes them improve and widen out in terms of what they can do on the pitch.
The coach then has to be skilled in facilitating those different systems and styles?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. He needs to have an all-round knowledge of the tactics, but also how to train the individual youngster on a personal technical level, so going to play on the strengths and on the qualities of the player in order to improve every little skill that one needs on the pitch.
Recruitment is a big part of success, talent identification. How many scouts in the area nationally?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. We of course we have several scouts. As a rule of thumb, we don't want to recruit outside of Tuscany. We have 40 scouts between under 8 and under 16, and then 6 scouts in Europe.
Wow, that's a lot. The Tuscany rule, is that for culture, or is it from, like, there's the laws that you can't recruit outside zones, or?
Okay, so there is a law between up until the under 14s that you cannot get players from another region, and then after that we try not to. We are the youth sector with the least foreigners, so as many Italians as possible. But of course, it's more a cultural thing after the age of 14, because for various reasons. But essentially, we also have a look around at the rest of Europe.
Hello coaches, we'll take a quick break here. Again, huge thanks to our sponsors. St Mary's University Performance Football Coaching Masters is a unique opportunity to learn from world-renowned academics and industry experts whilst making significant strides to develop your career and bolster your knowledge of coaching theories. Their course content has been tailored to reflect the diverse football coaching environments across the world. They have worked with industry experts, alumni, designated football partners who have contributed to module design that ensures the students are always getting that industry relevant knowledge. You will need to have achieved a UEFA B, USSF B or equivalent coaching qualification from your home country to apply, as well as having either an undergraduate degree or a significant football experience as a player or a coach. If you'd like to learn more, they have a series of online information webinars that are coming up over the next few months, and that will provide you with more detail about the finances, the module content, and further details of how to apply. Link will be in the comments below. Please check them out, and huge thank you to St Mary's for the support. There's a lot of data now with scouts, reports, filling in. When those scouts, 40 scouts, that's a lot. When they give feedback, is that a combination of reports, written reports, reading with the eye, or is there some data, or how is it managed?
So obviously for the very, very young players, we just look at how they play and their technique. But then towards the end of the journey in a youth academy, so let's say from the under 15, 16, 17, we look at the stats as well. That's when they come into play. And obviously we have a head scout and all the people working with a very large archive where we have all the reports for the players, and then we go and find and choose players and pick players based on specific needs for the team, characteristics, qualities that a player can add.
Obviously you have the written sign off on who you sign. When you sign a player for Fiorentina, what are some of the personality, characteristics, mentality needed to play here?
Obviously, when we get a chance, we try and meet the player, get to know him, have the family come here at Viola Park and meet them as a whole. What we look at is, of course, primarily what their qualities are based on how they play and the technical skills. But of course, the head is very, very important. The mentality is very important. And like we said, we try and have the players and look at what they are like on a personality level, thinking about their journey going, all the way to potentially playing in the first team.
Brilliant, brilliant. Again, the history of the club, players, Baggio, Batistuta, Rui Costa, Edmundo. I remember growing up. For young players today, they probably don't have a clue who those players are. Is that important that they know about those players, or how is the history communicated?
Like you said, history is very, very important, but at the same time, a lot of the current youngsters don't know about the past players. But what we try and do is show them games from current Fiorentina, from the past and going forward, and we try and plant a seed in their head, and some players get to know a bit more about what the past was. But obviously youngsters nowadays have a lot of other distractions too, so it's really very, very difficult, though history remains very important.
If it was an American club, we would have Batistuta goals playing all day, every day. In the future then, with growth and innovation, what are some of the biggest changes in the club in the last 5 years?
From when we entered here a year and a half ago, we've already seen improvement on a physical and technical level with the players, thanks to what we have here in terms of technology, both on a physical and technical level, and we've seen some improvement even with the very, very young players. So I think looking forward in terms of innovation, we've already made a step forward. We're hoping in the next 5 years to continue on this path.
As this beautiful facility is built and the club continues to grow, staff continues to grow. A challenge in the US especially is as staff grows, leadership, how to manage staff is more important. What's some advice you have to managing a lot of staff effectively?
No, more than a challenge or a difficulty, I see it as an opportunity, of course, because the more people we have, the more people we can have individually dedicated to each single player, and that is a fantastic, huge opportunity. If there's anybody in the staff who sees this as a problem or as a challenge, well, he's not here.
Very good, very good. The game in the USA, a lot of growth in the last 5 years. What is your perception of the soccer in America, football in America?
Yeah, the level is good. It's improving. I was talking about it with the Barone family just a couple of days ago. Just how much we've seen the growth. It's the national team, of course, and also the league. And we can expect more improvement going forward. But already now the level is high.
Culture. This is culture, football culture. In America, difficult to challenge and find culture with so many teams. And what is your advice for an American director or leader to grow a culture, as you mentioned at the start, family-based?
I think the most important thing is picking the right people, because of course you need people who have knowledge, passion, and also who have a vision down the years. So as a manager, as a director, the most difficult thing is picking the right people. Obviously you need that consistency, because what we see often is every couple of years maybe you change the managers or the directors, or you change the people beneath, and I think that is obviously a problem. But I'm very happy that with the help from others I've been able to pick a great team to work with, and that is very, very important.
Fantastic, fantastic. Mr. Angeloni, thank you for your time and thank you for your hospitality. Amazing. Thank you. Absolutely loved that conversation, sitting down with someone with immense experience in the Italian professional game. Also, he's been with Fiorentina for 6 years in this role. So a lot of growth, a lot of success, and a lot of opportunities for young players to break through into that first team. I really enjoyed that conversation. On the next episode, we are going to go into the methodology at Fiorentina. So I'm going to sit down with Mr. Mirko Mazzantini. We're going to talk about programming, we're going to talk about the style of play, we're going to talk about the training models, we're going to get right into the detail of how this club, again, works from really young ages, how they manage success and development, and what do they value most for young players to break through to that first team at Serie A level. That's coming up next. Please make sure you like, please make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss that interview. Thanks so much for your support. See you next time.